Hey, thanks for joining me today. You're listening to the Sit Down with Roman Gray. When I think of freedom, I think of a few things. One, I realize just how much we, as individuals, trap ourselves within the confines of our own mind. We live in a world where we're free to think and say whatever we want. But so much of the time, we end up becoming prisoners of our very own mind. We have all this freedom to think freely and express with utter contentment, but at the cost of jeopardizing our very own freedom due to the chains we wrap around our own ankles. It's almost like freedom itself becomes the weight we put on our backs and wonder why we ache in the mornings and why we stay up at night. We have the freedom to think and be wherever we want, but yet stay yearning for nostalgia, always reminiscing about the past, which takes us away from today and leads to our tomorrows looking unchanged. Then we look back and wonder, why is everything still the same? Our freedom is almost in essence one of humanity's greatest vices. My second thought, is freedom really free? Because if I'm being honest here, it doesn't feel like that. If we have to work so hard to be free, hustle and grind and all that just to get closer to being free, then is freedom really free if we have to sacrifice so much time and energy? When I think of freedom, I think of what it feels like for most people, or what most people envision. Waking up and having nowhere to be, no one to report to, having no worries about money, safety, or peace of mind. But just to get there feels like it'll cost us an arm and a leg, and maybe a bit of our own sanity. So it's like we have freedom, but not really. We work our entire lives just to say we earned freedom at the very end. So we have the freedom to be individuals, but not the freedom we all really dream about. So are we half free? So we're free individuals in a society that has its hands wrapped around our necks and our wallets? Somehow the actual freedom we all want, that we all dream about, still gets lost in translation. While we're on the topic of freedom, there's definitely one controversial thought that comes to mind, which is money and happiness. They say money doesn't buy happiness, but money buys us freedom. And within that freedom lies our happiness. So are we still sure money doesn't buy happiness in some capacity? Lastly, we talk about freedom in terms of societal values. We're free to say whatever and be whoever. We can choose however we want to perceive the world. We're free to go after what we want, and none of our lives are planned and executed by someone else. Our entire lives are in our hands. And while that's a heavy thing to realize and come to terms with all on its own, there's a very important type of freedom that nobody talks about. That is freedom from ourselves. Being free from our expectations and assumptions. Free from our unhealthy habits and narrow train of thought. Free from the ideas we have of ourselves and our place in the world. While it's absolutely great that we have freedom and aren't suppressed and can be whoever we want, I'm still not free from my insecurities. I'm still not free from my doubts and volatile emotions. This is a type of freedom that I find is the hardest to discuss and understand. Like I said before, freedom is almost in essence one of humanity's greatest vices. The weight of the amount of freedom we actually have can begin to crush us because of just how much it really is. While it's great that we have freedom and implemented it to whatever degree in our culture, and I agree it's absolutely vital and feel that it is a basic human right, the freedom from our obsessive and compulsive tendencies is something else entirely. To be so unattached from all our self-inflicted pain and self-destructive patterns. The freedom from the limitations we place on ourselves and the freedom from our own internal struggles is, for me, the ultimate type of freedom. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. Please don't forget to support me by visiting my website, itsromangray.com, as well as follow me on Twitter and Instagram at itsromangray. I love all of you so much just for being here and supporting me. It means everything. Thank you so much. And until next time.